What's going on, my brothers and my peace and my sisters? Doing by 34th and 3rd. Oh God. Yeah, we on 34th and 3rd. About to head to the QM15 bus. I have to wait for the 9:15 bus. I got here early. That bus I just missed was the 8 o'clock bus. And gotta wait another hour for a 9:15 bus. So that's kind of like, you gotta get to the stop before 9:15. Got here just in time. Got here early. So listen to what I was about to say, right? Everybody want me to talk a little bit more about basketball. So I'm gonna talk to you a little bit more about what we doing, right? Fine. So my birthday's around October, and we so on my birthday every year I actually do not ask for nothing, because birthdays is all about rebirth and all about things that we could change in our life, in our hearts, in our communities. And let me say where I said this, right? So birthday to me is like a rebirth power of my life. Just recently, Jalita and I, talked about birthday. We talked about holidays and whatever like that. And I told Jalita, I said, listen, I thank Yahweh to live to see my birthday. Not a lot of people don't live to see their birthday. You know why? Because sickness take over their body. So when the enemy come and struck you from that sickness, you're not gonna see another birthday from that sickness. I will get to see another birthday, right? So there's a time when you feel destroyed. There's a time when you feel like hope is not there for you. There's a time that you feel like, I don't know who I'm gonna turn to if I need to talk to somebody. I told Jolita that at Mona's funeral, I did not like the way how her mother said certain things that pretty much disgust me. You cannot go on the funeral and write on the refrigerator that Monet came out of her vagina area. That's kind of disgusting. You should say something decent about Monet. And tomorrow I'm going up to the funeral home to talk to the guy, because that was kind of disgusting what I saw. Because that's not the way how we supposed to operate. And that funeral home is the best funeral home that helps out. They help me grieve over mommy. And it's not okay for somebody to come to the funeral and do some type of disgustingness in the funeral. I'm going up there tomorrow. I told Jolita I'm going to go talk to the guy, because that was inappropriate behavior that I did not condone. You know what I mean? I did not condone that type of behavior, because that behavior should not be tolerated. And I feel like, in my opinion, I think they need to notify the family, and they need to have a meeting with the family, because I told you that was very disrespectful to Monet. I don't feel like, I will not say, I told you I would not say mommy married a gay man to bring her kids up here. I wouldn't say that. You understand what I'm saying? I told Auntie Maya I will not say that. But the way how you come at it and say how somebody was born out of somebody's coochie, you cannot say that. And I said that was very disgusting what she did. And I told Auntie Mom that I don't put up with that bullshit when it come on to family. You say something nice about the family member. Don't fucking say the person came on your coochie hole. That's not. And Julia helped the person save the baby. You don't do that. That's kind of rude and disrespectful to the people that's paying their respects to the dead. You don't do that shit. And I'm gonna go speak to the guy about it, because that was uncalled for. And that family, they do that shit for cult. And I told Auntie Mon, they do that shit for cult because they want to get a reward from it. You feel me? They're not doing that to pay respect to the person. They're doing that for cult. And you can't understand in your heart you're going through a tragic death. And people don't realize that tragic death could be a salvation death. And I said to Julia, you should have took the mic from your mom. You should have took the mic, because that was kind of disgusting. And I want to thank Jaquan for speaking on my behalf, because he came up and he spoke. He gave a tribute on my behalf, and I want to thank him for that. I felt like that's kind of wrong, and I think that basketball wellness, I don't want that type of behavior at my event. So what I'm planning on doing is I'm gonna get people to secure the doors and secure the building and everything like that. I'm gonna hire volunteer security crew to help, and actually I'm gonna hire my own bodyguard to when I'm coming in the building, they could protect me while I'm coming in the building, and then they could escort me to my seat. So we're going to have an usher, we're going to have a bodyguard, and I told you that I'm getting a bodyguard and an usher for the event, and also I'm going to ask Shadi to cater the event for me, because she cooks some good seafood, man. I tell you, Shadi could put her foot in that kitchen, my brother. I tell my sister, she put her foot in that shrimp, put her foot in that seafood, man. Yeah, so I don't tolerate that shit, and I'm gonna have a conversation with Shadi about it. I don't tolerate that. That type of behavior is uncalled for, and I will not let somebody come to my event talking about how my mother pushed me out. That's not how. I'm going up to the funeral home tomorrow to have a conversation with the guy, because that was kind of disrespectful to the person that's trying to lay in peace. That behavior should not be called for, you know. I just feel like that was kind of rude and disrespectful to the dead, you know. I really think that they should have 27 minutes. I got until 9:15. They should have just say something that's decent and not overdo it. I just feel like that was kind of wrong what they did, and to kind of like think about how it is. I'm not gonna put up with the BS at my event when my event come up. I told Auntie Molly, when my event come up, I'm gonna get a bodyguard, I'm gonna get a security for my event, and I'm gonna get people that's gonna volunteer their service, and I'm gonna get a bodyguard to come with me, and I'm gonna have a limousine service that's gonna pick me up from the house, like a limousine like that right there. Yeah, like that car right there. They're gonna come pick me up from the house and drop me to the venue, and I'm gonna have a red carpet where I'm gonna get out the car. I'm gonna walk into the venue. So yeah, so that's kind of like good right there, right? So yeah, so that's kind of like, yeah, but I don't like the way how that played out. I'm gonna talk to the guy about that tomorrow. That's kind of disrespectful and rude. I'm gonna have a talk with the lady that did Monet's makeup and shit like that. I'm gonna have a conversation with the lady, because that was very disgusting and rude. You don't do that to think it's okay for you to come to somebody's event and talk about, oh, they this and that. You should have been able to pay your respects and sit down. And if you have nothing to say, you should not go up to the mic and say that. You're kind of rude, you know. And I'm gonna have like I said, I pray on it. I'm gonna have a one-on-one conversation. I'm gonna have a meeting with Jalita, because that was kind of rude. And I said to the grandmother, and I said it to her in the viewing, I said, we all here for Monette. Say something nice about Monette, and say something nice about Monette, and do not disrespect her. You understand what I'm saying? And I said that to her, and I told Auntie Mon, I said that to her at the viewing. And when I said it to her, I said, I'm sorry for your loss, and I said it to her. We're here for Monette. When you have something, if you're making a tribute, do not say that stuff about Monette that you pushed her out. Nobody don't need to hear all that information. And when you're writing an obituary, write that she was born this. Don't say she was born at your mother's kitchen. No, don't say that, you know. And I just feel like it's kind of rude what she did, and we just have to have a peaceful moment of life. So I'm waiting for the QM15. I'm at the stop right on 3rd Avenue, and I'm gonna wait for the bus, and we're gonna go to Queens. I'm gonna reach the Queens by 10:19 and head over to the A train after that. All right.